Okay, this is Eric Martin back with Greg Pattenaude here at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center. The score at the end of 2 periods is 7-0 in favor of Roosevelt. Just a note for you hockey enthusiasts who want to play a little bit this summer, Ron Greshner of the New York Rangers will be running a hockey camp here at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center. I guess it'll be in conjunction with Sandy McDonald. If you want more information about it, call Sandy here at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center or drop a line. I guess Greg, I think some of the Ranger players will be instructing also. Tommy Laylaw, John Van Beesbrook for the goaltenders, and I think there were a couple other...
Well, Carol Vadnais is scheduled to be here as a coach. I think Phil Esposito is scheduled to be here, so it's really something good. Really exciting thing happening here in Poughkeepsie, a hockey camp, and I think the people will be staying at New Paltz. I'm not sure, but I think it's $295 if you're going to stay at New Paltz, which would be for out-of-towners. I think it's $175 for residents of the area, and it promises to be something really good, really beneficial for the hockey players. I've heard that there's been over 300 requests at Madison Square Garden already for the camp. And again, if you are interested in it, you can call Sandy McDonald at 454-5800 and get information. And
they'll send you out a brochure. I don't know if they're out yet, but they will be shortly. Okay, also as far as floor hockey again, call Sandy McDonald. He is Mr. Civic Center here, I guess. Okay, Greg, let's talk a little bit about the season, the way it has progressed. I haven't seen too many games. I've been away on assignment, but I guess you've been here almost every week. Let's talk a little bit about what's been going on.
Well, I think only 2 teams finished above 500. Lords at 17-1, Roosevelt at 15-3. Outside of that, the next team was Arlington at 9-9. So really, Roosevelt and Lords just dominated the league this season. I think Arlington had lost a lot of defensemen, a lot of seniors last year. I think they got to be happy with the season they had because they went with 2 rookie goaltenders, Brad Williams and Alan Androvic. Even though they're 9-9, they could have done better than that. I think they lost their last 2 games, so I think they do have to be happy. They ended up in 3rd place. Ketchum, the defending regular season champs last season, they lost a lot of players to graduation, and it really hurt. But they came on at the end of the season. So at least they're going in the right direction. They were down. They finished with 6 wins, 6-11-1. I'm sure that they're disappointed that they didn't do better. I mean, last year that they had run a 33-game unbeaten streak last year. So John Jay, they finished at 8-9-1. I think everyone knew John Jay was going to be a little better because they had a lot of size. They're probably the biggest team in the league. But unfortunately for them, they're almost all seniors. So they're going to lose all those players. So that might be just a one-season thing for John Jay at 8-9-1. Spackenkill came on at the end of the season. I think Joe Lucier and Adam O'Neill played well for them as an addition, except Adam O'Neill's a senior. But I think Frank Koenig has got to be congratulated for really pulling a team that had only won 1 game, and they didn't even know they were going to exist this season. Spackenkill, and I think he and his coaching staff have got to be commended because they really played well.
How is Lords? You said Lords was 17-0 for the season.
17-1.
17-1. How do they match up, do you think, with Roosevelt, who's
I was just talking to someone from Roosevelt about that. They said, for some reason, the announcers keep saying that Lords is a good skating club, and they never say anything about Roosevelt. And they said Roosevelt can skate when they want to. I think they match up pretty well against them.
So it could be quite a playoff final if that's who we meet.
I think that the line of George Noto, Paul Millard, and Keith Slistein matches up well against Mark Zolads, Greg Powell, and I'm trying. Of course, I knew this would happen when I started thinking of the third person, John Walker. Roosevelt, I think, has a bigger size. Lords, I think, it's probably a little better skating, but they both can skate. The thing is, except they get a little smaller bodies, they weave in and out. I think I don't expect any surprises in the playoffs. It'll probably end up with Lords and Roosevelt finishing at 1-2.
Goaltending in both clubs.
I think you have to say it's even. Chris Bergens is an excellent goaltender.
That's true too. That's correct.
And I think as far as backup, if you get down to the point where you're talking about backup, they've probably got Marco Bertolozzi against Tim Muckenheim. They can go with either goaltender, I think. Chris Bergen or Marco Bertolozzi. They're both good.
That's true. I do remember calling a few games with them. How about a recap of the second period action? Pawling's back out on the ice at this point.
Okay, let me get it in front of me here.
7 goals.
Okay, at the 2:10 mark, Kevin Hannon got his first of the playoffs with an assist to Keith Slistein and George Noto. Made it 5-0 at the 5:17 mark. Keith Slifstein is third of the night from George Noto and Paul Millard. George Noto with 5 assists on the evening. Keith Slifstein a hat trick. And Kevin Hannon picked up his second of the evening. I think Brian O'Leary got an assist, but I wasn't sure on the call on that at the 7:58 mark. It is 7-0 Roosevelt. And we'll have to see. I think we're going to see a lot of Roosevelt's third line in this period.
Okay, Roosevelt coming back out on the ice. And we're going to wrap things up here so we can get our equipment back into position. We'll be back for third period action. And you're watching exclusive playoff coverage coming your way on Brickyard Hill Video.